automate this. The problem is that,
Well, let's get started with the core group of people. We do not need Bill.
we do not. That is true.
We got a lot to talk about. Alarm management. Back before computer-based SCADA systems, alarms were hardwired and they were very expensive. Like, you didn't have an infinite real estate of a PC. You had a control board, a piece of slate with some lights on it. You had one of those big grids, alarm boxes, and it was expensive to set up alarms. So you had to make good, thought out design that the operator would be able to look at and see.
So the truth is there. But you know what? I've been around long enough now before this whole cheap alarm thing goes. And how many times have you walked in and seen a bucket over a signal light stack? You know, it's not, this isn't just ignoring the alarm summary. There's buckets over the light stack. You know, there's a piece of tape over the alarm buzzer or maybe an indicator light.
Or you've pulled the fuse that
exactly
powers.
Unplug the horn. Yeah.
Yep.
We log on and then there's a blaring alarm sound and then there's 65 alarms. And it's like, we don't even think to check because they're all minor alarms.
Yeah. And one day you're going to open that up and there'll be 71 alarms. And that 71st alarm is going to be like self-destruct sequence initiated or something. You just don't even look at it. And there's all sorts of standards out there that you can pour over. Like the most famous one, ISA 18.2, it specifies that per minute, 3 alarms is the max that an operator should ever see. And in an hour, 18 alarms is the max. Have you ever gone to an HMI that didn't currently have 18 alarms, either active or unacknowledged or whatever?
To make the automation cheaper to deploy and to create is that you end up having all the pre-built objects, module libraries and that sort of thing. And once you end up deploying a module library, it takes like 2 seconds to instantiate an object. But all of a sudden now you end up having 16 alarms that are associated to it. I think the biggest thing is in the projects that we've ended up doing with it is that it's not so much a technical choice. I mean, we're here because of the way the technical aspect comes, but to maintain like an 18.2, that's really a human process that ends up needing to cover it. The places where we've seen it most effectively defined is, you know, when you end up having some sort of release by exception, where it's very obvious which parameters, the key process parameters, are preventing an automatic release. That's really where you get that time back. But having a continuous improvement thing, it's really hard to find somebody to champion it for that long.
Yeah, I mean, the review by exception is great when it comes to the QA review and everything. But when you go through and define your review by exception, you're most likely going to remove any really unnecessary alarms.
And yeah, release by exception, you know, you just don't want to get that soup can that's got the broken glass alarm active, you know.
Yeah, that would be a bummer. Okay, so what if I... Better?
This has been a production of Lucid Automation. The opinions expressed are those of the individuals and do not represent those of Lucid Automation. Upon further consideration, those opinions would likely be retracted by the individuals that made them. All opinions are to be considered for entertainment purposes only and should, under no circumstances, be considered professional engineering advice. Please contact Lucid Automation directly at http://lucidautomationsecurity.com for official advice.